Hello, welcome to my channel, Manifesting with Mama Muchka. Hi, my name is Rachel. In this video, I want to talk about my success story with my romantic specific person and explain the whole story. My story actually probably started back in 2017. I created a vision board. This was like like that movie, The Secret, was really big. I watched The Secret. Maybe it was from The Secret I decided to do the vision board. I can't remember exactly. I did, there was like people, there was on, I remember even on Instagram, there was some girls I followed because I was like doing yoga and stuff back then, more so than I am now. And I remember this one yoga person said she wrote a list of all the qualities that she wanted in a guy. And she had it in her like drawer next to her bed. And then she is now married and has kids with this guy. Like he appeared. So I wrote a list of all the qualities I wanted in a guy and I put it on that vision board along with some other like love things on there. Like couples and that on the vision board. I also have like other places I want to travel and that. So that is what I did. I went about my life. Every once in a while I read the qualities of the list. I wasn't like fretting about anything or stressed about anything. And I was like, okay. I'm like, if it happens, it happens. It don't. I don't know. Because I still wasn't like, I didn't realize how powerful this stuff really truly is at this point. Fast forward 2019 at work, I was working in this one department and I decided to switch and work in another department because in the department I work in, I can work in different ICUs. So I switched to a different ICU to work in. And that is when I met my Pacific person. It was not love at first sight, I would say, but I was drawn to him. I was very drawn to him. For some reason, I just had a pull to him. I didn't know why, but I had a pull to him. And we slowly became friends. I was seeing another guy I started seeing another guy, I think it was like in 21. I was with another guy on and off. It was not a good relationship. He was not the person for me. He also did not check off not even half the boxes on my list. Through this time though, I kept my real Pacific person that I all started back in 2017, I feel manifesting. He kept popping in my head. And like even when I would kiss the other guy, I wished I was kissing my now current Pacific person. It was really interesting how that like it's like the universe was randomly putting him in my head like, no, you need to be with this other guy. Seriously. And so I broke it off. I ended up breaking it off for good. I'm like, I'm wasting my time with this guy that I'm not even in love with, that I don't want to be with. So broke that off. Got my Pacific person's phone number. This was, I think, end of 2021, beginning of 2022. I don't remember when I got his phone number. We started texting, becoming friends. A few times I confessed that I had feelings for him and I wanted to be with him, that I liked him. He ended up telling me that he liked me too. However, he was not asking me on any dates. And I'm like, month and month after month has gone by and he's not here. We're texting all the time. We're talking all the time, having really great conversations, telling each other that we like each other, but no dates were happening. It kind of really confused me. He's a shyer guy, quiet, shyer guy. I probably had an assumption in my head that I know I was. Now that I know what I know now, I was creating all of this for the date not to happen. 2022, I am online on YouTube searching how to get out of the friend zone, how to get a date with someone. and I came across, I think I was listening to like Matthew Hussey at the time too. But anyway, the one day it came up, a video, I found Shelley Bullard. That's who I found. And I started watching her, and I was doing what she was saying to do and taking her advice. Next thing you know, come 2023, we go on our first official date. So we dated all of 2023. Things were going really great. We were getting, by the end of 2023, things were getting more serious. Things were going really well. We got along really well. Like, he checked all the boxes off my list who I wanted to be. I was getting extremely strong feelings for him. I really, really, really liked him. On the other hand, it freaked me out. It scared me. It triggered all my fears that I've never addressed in my life, like my fears of abandonment, fears of not being good enough, all of that. He was my perfect mirror to reveal all that I needed to heal and work on myself, for sure. So, and it's here's another little backstory too. So, back in 2022, I remember watching a video that like only 2% of couples are actually blissfully happy 8 years later. And that like all these people are like together but miserably married and all this stuff. And I came up with this. I already knew at this point, like I knew that me and him would end up together. I knew that we had a lot in common. I knew we had good chemistry. Even though we weren't together at this point, I knew we had good chemistry. I could just feel it. And I came up with a plan. And I put on my vision board a unicorn, a picture of a like a male unicorn and a female unicorn, and I called myself an elusive unicorn. And I said, because me and him talked about how we've had, our disastrous relationships through our adulthood. So we're both in our 40s, and how nothing's worked out yet, and relationships hurt. And I came up with the brilliant idea. I'm like, well, if this stuff works, and with listening to Shelley and all this stuff, I was like, I'm going to manifest that me and him, that we're going to be the 2% that are blissfully happy. That is what I am going to manifest. So I do firmly believe with setting that intention back in 2022 and putting the unicorn, which he is not even aware of any of this. I will tell him at some point. He does know that I have a vision board, but he's never asked about it. And it's got the unicorn on there and some of the love couple stuff on there. I know now that me and him I manifested the breakup. The breakup had to happen, so I would have went on this journey to heal myself, to truly learn about manifesting, law of assumption, that I create my reality, to really, truly give myself self-love, to put myself as a priority, to not be trying to get love from him, all this stuff. Because now I feel like right now, with what I know now from then back in 2022, I am in like 100 times better place, and now I can create that. And I mean, it is creating a really good, happy, harmonious relationship with him. Now I've got the foundation for it. So I'm not, although I was mad at the time of the breakup, which I'll get into what happened, I'm so thankful. I tell the universe all the time that I'm so thankful that we broke up and that I've been on this journey and that it happened the way it happened, because it had to have happened in order to create. See, sometimes you don't know when things are going on and your Bridget incidences are going on, you don't always understand why it's happening. And now that it's way on later, months later, year later, it's like, oh, this totally had to happen this way in order for us to have a very happy relationship together, a very blissful, happy relationship together. So, anyway, get back on the story. We were in 2023, in the fall, we were growing closer and closer, getting more serious. However, I had these huge fears that that he wasn't serious about me, that he didn't really like me, that he wasn't really in love with me. I know, just like lots of anxiety, panic attacks over this, nightmares over this. And things are going really good. The 3D was not showing me any signs that this, well, the only thing the 3D was showing me is this, because I wanted to meet his parents and I brought it up a few times, but he wasn't ready. And I wanted to be called a girlfriend. I did not bring up. I did not ask to be a girlfriend until the breakup, the night of the fight. But I had this huge assumption, this huge fear that if I brought up being a girlfriend and brought up meeting his parents, like a more of like a demand, like a force, like, why haven't I met your parents yet? That he would break up with me. So I was holding on to resentment with these stories. I had these huge fears, and we ended up getting into a fight, and I asked to be his girlfriend, or told him I wanted to be his official girlfriend, and told him that I kind of demand, actually, I don't fully remember, especially because I've done some revision work on the breakup, so I don't even remember. It's foggy. The breakup's foggy to me. And all what was said. And I'm currently working on more revisions on that breakup to really, because you manifest from your past. That's a whole nother video to talk on revision, so I won't go into it. But it is literally, it's foggy what all was said, because I'm working on erasing that out of my memory. But I do remember, I think I demanded meeting his parents. He broke up. Anyway, he came back. He broke up with me. And I was devastated. Around that time, I just found Sammy Ingram, like right maybe a month or two before that, because I was trying to understand. I was starting to understand manifesting more, because like I said, I was watching Shelley Bullard, and I feel like Shelley Bullard helped me get into dating him. But I wanted to meet his parents. I wanted to be a girlfriend. So I was watching some more videos, and I found Sammy. I was like, how do I get a committed relationship? And then I heard about law of assumption, but I didn't understand it. I heard about Neville, but I didn't take it seriously, because here my 3D was looking okay. We were getting more serious. I didn't feel the need to really fully study this stuff. So I didn't. Breakup happened. I'm devastated. I'm like, I want answers. What's going on? So I'm binge watching Sammy Ingram. I'm binge watching Shelley Bullard. I think I found a couple other coaches. I'm binge watching. I'm telling you, this is all day long, on my days off of work. I'm listening, taking notes, filling up journals, what the heck. Anyway, I watched this video on reverse engineering, or they talked about reverse engineering, which I need to do a video on reverse engineering your life. And then it clicked, because it clicked that I'm creating my reality. It clicked. I was like, oh, law of assumption is all of your assumptions, even your fears, not just what I was under the impression. Sometimes it takes a while for this stuff, at least in my reality. It took me a while to catch on to all of this. And I just thought, when I was, affirming to be with him and affirming he loved me, back in 2023 or 2022, 2023, when I just affirmed we're together, affirmed, that, I got him to call me more. I got him to see me more, but it wasn't, clicking in my brain that all my fears and all my assumptions were manifesting. So I watched that video talking about reverse engineering. I was like, oh my goodness, I totally created this. So it was devastating, but then it was like a relief because I was like, okay, cool. Well, then I can get him back. Cool. So if I can create a breakup, I can create getting back together. So then I went to work on getting him back. And I manifested. So we were in no, he ghosted me, refused to talk to me after the breakup, just totally refused to talk to me. Wouldn't answer phone calls, wouldn't answer my texts, which I did. I stopped. Don't keep reaching out. If you're broken up with and they're not answering you, just leave them alone. Go within. So I went within, studied up on manifesting, and manifested contact 5 weeks later. So 5 weeks later, he calls me out of the blue. However, I know I wasn't ready to get back together, so I know I created him telling me no, he wasn't ready to get back together and that he didn't want to reconcile at that point, which is fine. So, so to go into that, I also found Missy Renee and I found Manifest with Mary, and both of them I studied their success story, like really studied their success story and their channel and stuff. And they both said in their whole journey success story, they said that they got broken up with like 4 months later after getting back together. And I was terrified that I wasn't ready, and they both said that they didn't work enough on their self-concept and all that. So they got back together and all their fears and doubts came back. They got super triggered and then they got broken up with again. So I was like, okay. After I manifested back contact with him, I did make a decision that I was going to really go full in on self-concept and go in full in on self-love and all that, and kind of delay getting back together. Like I really wanted to get back together with him, but I did want to delay it. And in my mind, I was thinking, if I remember correctly, so this is about like this is probably 2 or 3 months after the breakup. I remember my mind thinking, okay, maybe we'll get back together like in the fall or the next year. Some point we'll get back together down the road, but right now, why don't I work on myself, really get my self-concept good, really get my self-love good, so that way we have a really good foundation. And then it was in the back of my mind too, of that 2% blissfully happily couples. So I did. I read some books. John Gottman, he has some good books on like couples and like communication skills and relationship skills. So not only did I do like manifestation things, but I was reading on relationship skills, how to have a good relationship together. I really took all last year to really do just like a total makeover redo of everything, and really just I was very hard at work of everything. So we grew closer through last year, talking and talking. I hired a mentor, and I learned some things from her. I did some group coaching. I learned some things from the group coaching. Do you need a group coach or do you need a mentor? No. I probably wanted the validation, more so validation that all the stuff is real, more so than actually. And I was really wanting to talk to somebody about manifestation because I didn't have any buddies at this point either. So it was more of a, like, I felt all alone, like, who do I talk to? So with the group, I am happy though. With the group coaching though, I did find a couple girlfriends that I talk to all the time now. And it's really nice to have them to talk about manifestation things. Like we share videos and stuff, and we talk about different coaches or different channels and where to learn things and different viewpoints on things. And plus too, like we're working on money and business. Like me and my one girl, actually both of them, we're all three of us are working on like business ideas, like long-term plans. So we've been bouncing ideas on that too. So that I am very, very, very thankful that I have 2 girlfriends now that are like my best friends that we talk about manifesting all the time. that was really helpful. There can be a downfall though on having, if you're getting stuck in a complaining thing, that's not good. However, because then you're just like retelling the old story. However, moving forward, to get to the ball rolling of how we reconciled here, the good point, the juicy points. So here I did all this work last year on self-love, self-concept, and then it was June or July, though, I did start working on manifesting him back. So I started doing the technique of embodying being with him. That took me a couple months to get into that. It was tricky at first for me to figure out how to think from your desire. Like, and my mentor was like, get out of bed and think that you are his girlfriend. So I was working on that. And I'm going to do a video on routines to kind of go into kind of routines of things. Well, in September of last year, we were talking all the time. A conversation came up, and I felt like it was inspired action. I ended up telling him that I had feelings for him, that I wanted to reconcile with him. And I did this over text. I probably should have done it on the phone, but I did it over text. He ended up like not responding to it. He ended up texting something totally different. I ended up coming back and I was like, I said, we can discuss this on a date together. And then he didn't answer back. We ended up going into, and I did a video on how I broke out of the friend zone. So if you want to watch that video, you can watch that video. Actually, I'll link it on here, that video. I think I have a playlist of my stories. Then we went into 3 months of no contact, which actually was good for me. It was really good for me because I was able to break out of that story, the friend zone story. And then I was even able to even clear. I ended up doing, I really did. Oh, I didn't talk about forgiveness. I did a lot of forgiveness and Ho'oponopono in the beginning after the breakup. There was still some resentments in me and still some forgivenesses that I needed to work on. So during that no contact period, I really worked on more forgiveness. And I did some videos, I did a forgiveness burn and stuff. I actually legitimately was doing these stuff, really working on forgiveness, letting go of that old story, letting go of the breakup, letting go of the friend zone story, and really throwing myself into the new story that we reconciled and we're back together. And then it was nice because I wasn't triggered by contact from him. So I was able to really stay on that new story. That was super helpful for me. I would have never, and I was able to let go because I was really strongly stuck on the how and the when. And I couldn't break out of it. Being in no contact though, for that 3 months, I hit to a point where I just let go and I surrendered and I didn't care anymore. The how or when didn't matter. I knew it was going to happen. I was also testing the law even more and more, testing the law on coworkers, testing the law on my kids. So I was seeing people conform. I was seeing people do other things. And I'm like, I know this works. I totally know this works. So I continued growing my faith. So I'm like, I know we're going to end up reconciling. It has to happen. It's going to happen because it's law. It's going to. So I just stopped addressing it and thinking about it at this point. Never in a million years would I have thought on December, the first week, I think it was the first week of December, I'm walking into work, 5-lane road I had to cross. I had the sign, the pedestrian sign said I could cross. There was a red light. I'm going to cross. He did not see me, bless his heart. I know he did not mean to hurt me, but this vehicle took a right turn and hit me and thank goodness. There was definitely an angel was watching over me, because I walked out of there with just a bruise and like a cut on my hand and a slash on my elbow. But what happened, and this had to have happened. I think I had to have been, I know this sounds crazy, but I think I had to have been hit by a vehicle to make me text him, because I think both me and him were in this assumption of being stubborn and not talking to each other. Because I know I was in this assumption. I'm like, I'm not reaching out until he does. And so, but since I got hit by the vehicle, I was startled, in shock, and I texted him, and I'm like, I just got hit by a vehicle. Oh my gosh, crossing the road trying to get into work. And ended up leading to us talking. Then, after leading to us talking, we ended up talking on the phone. We confessed we missed each other, he ended up telling me, admitted that he still had feelings for me. And I point blank on the phone, I'm like, I want to reconcile with you. And he agreed. He agreed to reconcile with me. However, reason why I didn't make an actual official success story is because we didn't go into dating then. And so I wanted to explain a little more on that. So the holidays were approaching. It was the beginning of December. The holidays were approaching. He was dealing with this is nothing to do with the holidays. This was something else that happened. He was dealing with a major catastrophe that was going on in his personal life, that he literally did not have time. And I mean, if I wish I could say what happened, but he literally didn't have the focus or the time or the energy to put into a relationship with me. And it's actually, and this is where I kind of disagree with some dating coach, like 3D dating coaches. It's like, oh, if they don't make time for you, they don't care about you. I don't fully agree with that, because he's actually a gentleman, in my opinion, in my assumption, to tell me that he was dealing with this catastrophe in his life, that he needed to get through this catastrophe, and he needed to get through the holidays before he could put that energy into us. I actually, if I would have told him, gave him an attitude and been like, oh, that's not good enough, we need to be seeing each other right now to prove that you love me and really want to reconcile with me, he probably would have been like, sorry. So we agreed to be friends and then work into reconciliation and back into dating. So that's what happened. It happened so naturally. There's no like big story to tell. We were friends. Communication increased more and more. We got through the holidays. And then the next thing you know, we were reconciling and back together. Very naturally. Nothing really special, but that's just what happened. I am not his official girlfriend at this point, but we are dating. We did agree to be exclusive, so I don't have to worry about, like, I don't care about the girlfriend title at this point. I know I was so heavily focused on that the first time back in 2023. I'm going within on that story though, instead of, and I don't have the fears. Luckily I addressed all the fears, and I have a good solid foundation now. I know how to work on things. If things come up, I know to journal them out. I know how to turn things around. I know how to work on my mental diet now. So I'm like in a way better headspace now. This time things are going, we both agreed to go slow also though. So we're taking things slow. Things are going very good. we had a couple communication, miscommunications already. I mean, relationships, it is a practice to communicate good. And I was able to, like, I noticed how I reacted totally different this time. We did go, like, with a 1 week, we went a week without talking, and which is, it was totally okay. Before, the old me would have been so mad, spiraled, and all this stuff. And I was like, everything's fine. This is all working out in my favor. And things like that. Like I have that now. I tell myself all the time, this is all working out in my favor. This is all working according to plan for that blissful, harmonious relationship. And we are going to be in 8 to 10 years. We're going to be that couple, that the 2% that is blissfully happy. So everything's fine. It's all okay. And things are, our relationship is different this time. The energy's different this time. The communication is better this time. So I'm super excited for, even though we agreed to take things really slow here, I'm just very excited for our future and things to go. So I'm very happy. There was definitely times that I had doubts in the law. We all do. This was very manifesting a Pacific person, man. It was hard. All the inner work, it was hard. Addressing all my fears, it was hard. I continued to persist. I continued to test the law, grow my faith, build trust, and I am now another person to be here on video to testify with my channel that this stuff works. I'm another success story. And I'm going to try to help you all figure out how to manifest your person too, or whatever desire you want. So this stuff is definitely very powerful. You're very powerful. I'm very powerful. We're all very powerful in our own realities. And we can all get what we want once we understand all this and apply it and do it, put it to work. It does work. So I'm very happy I didn't give up. There was a couple of times I almost gave up, and very excited for my future. So there you have it, my whole success story. And I hope you all are having a good day, and I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope this is encouraging to you. This does work. This is possible. You can have your person back. You can have, or even a new person, like how I did the list, wrote down all my qualities, and he came in I manifested, so I've manifested him twice, technically, in the first place, and then manifested the breakup back. So this stuff is very real. This stuff is very true. And I hope you all have a good day. Bye.